But first, there is clean burning coal technology out
Yes.
there and things like that.
Matter of
And
fact, a town called Mattoon, Illinois, just got a $1.75 billion federal government grant to build, a zero emission coal burning facility. The technology exists. The technology exists to take the CO2 coming out of any sort of development and reconvert it back into oxygen. The technology exists to capture that CO2, store it, and resell it as industrial CO2. We can capture the fly ash coming off the coal burning process and sell that to Wholesome River City Cement. You can turn it into building bricks, to literally build your town.
but let's say all that's
Yeah.
true. Since I'm not an engineer, I'm kind of taking that on faith.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean by that? I hate to do the show me kind of deal, and it could all happen, and that would all be great.
Sure.
But we're taking it on faith because you're saying, well, the very best of the very best, which I'm sure this guy will have, and I can understand people being hesitant hearing that. Wouldn't you?
A little bit. I mean, people need to remember that, this isn't, I guess, a traditional industrial development from the sense that he's not going to own this property. And he, by, helping Crystal City to attain ownership here, has created any number of different levels of scrutiny and control that the city has over that property that we would not, in any other scenario have. In terms of what he can actually do down there. He has to go through all of our permitting processes. And ultimately, at the end of the day, he needs our permission to do anything on that property, to turn one lick of soil. I know Roger kind of brought up, why did Wings want the city here? From day one, Jim Kennedy came to us and said, I want to be a good neighbor. We've got this plan, let's team up here. Crystal City would not be receiving this tonnage rental off of his product if he was just a regular business guy who bought that property. All we would see out of that are the jobs. When you look at, like I said, that small town in Illinois, celebrating in the streets over getting that project, that's just some jobs. There's no revenue stream associated with that. That's jobs and the development of the newest and best technology out there. That's exactly what we've got here. But you throw in a major, major financial bonus for the city and our ability to continue the services and to continue being the Crystal City that people have come to love over the years. I think as Jim's put it to me before and as I've put it to plenty of other people, the Crystal City of 5-10 years from now is the Crystal City we know to get today. It's financially secure. You're going to be able to breathe our air without a problem. You're going to be able to live in your home without a problem. This isn't some Armageddon scenario. This is a development unlike any really that has been seen before in the United States. And to me, it's a very exciting development.
This is something that I'm sure is going to be looked into down the road, and I'm going to pose this question to both of you. I'm going to have Ben to go first. There's been a little talk, and I'm sure, as I mentioned, it's going to come to surface a little bit more down the road, but a buffer zone. Mm-hmm. As we know with Doe Run, and I know this smelter is not Doe Run, that's been repeated many times before, but is there a chance, and that's kind of a hard question to pose to you, because of course there is a chance, but a buffer zone, Ward 1, there's a lot of homes that are very close to that, and there's a lot of times in the permit process where it could get, look, this could be here if all these homes weren't there.
Sure.
Is there a chance of a buyout? Has Jim looked at that you know of?
I don't want to speak too much for Jim and his plans there. I can tell people, rest assured, it is not the city's intent to eminent domain everybody in Ward 1 out of their home. That absolutely will not happen. Any buyout that would happen would be a voluntary buyout. I expect that, the buyout prices, much like in other buyouts, would certainly exceed market value. And we don't want anybody to leave Crystal City. And if there's a buyout, certainly the city is going to absolutely lean as hard as possible on Wings to offer maximum value for that property so that people are able to either build in a new section of Crystal City or move to a different section of Crystal City if such a buyout is deemed necessary by Jim or DNR or EPA.
And you are looking at noise reduction type
Absolutely.
barriers and that kind of stuff.
We've been working for a couple months now on crafting a comprehensive noise control ordinance. The Wings facility will absolutely have to be in compliance with that noise ordinance.
I'm going to let Mr. Baker have the final word here this morning because we're running out of time. Any thoughts you want to leave us with here?
Well, thank you, Ben, for coming and meeting with us. Thank you for having us on. And I guess the only thing I do agree with Ben on is this week will go down in history as something that's going to definitely change Crystal City. I hope and pray for the citizens of Crystal City that Ben's right and I'm wrong, but I don't think so.
All right.
Is there any chance of another meeting, obviously, to talk about this? I guess it would be an open meeting, but is there any chance that there will be some DNR people there to say, look, this is the project? I know Jim's becoming
You have
a little
to during
more
the
open.
permit process,
Absolutely.
right?
There's a series of public hearings
Public
that
hearings,
the
yeah.
DNR will have. We wanted to have another public meeting. Unfortunately, a series of lawsuits were filed against the city, and it really kind of handcuffed our ability to, hold an open meeting, get all these different people there. Certainly when the plans are in, I think that there's probably going to be another open meeting, but I don't really don't.
That
see
would be at the state level. That would be called by a DNR, EPA,
well,
or whoever.
specifically to hear for his permits. I can't commit to it, but I expect that there's a good chance that when all the plans are in, and before we maybe even get to permitting, but when applications are submitted and that sort of thing, we could probably have another public meeting about the matter and show exactly what's going to be where, the different proposed uses of the property, things like that. It's certainly a possibility. It's nothing I can commit to right now. Certainly, litigation has a part in that, and it might be just easier on everybody to wait for the DNR's permitting process to begin.
Let me ask you a question,
Yeah.
and I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here. If you're recalled,
Yeah.
is it worth it?
Absolutely. I've told everybody, since I don't know, a few months ago, and I said this the other night. You know what? If I drop dead tomorrow, I'll go to my grave a perfectly happy and content man. I feel that this council has done a fantastic job on this development. This mayor's shown tremendous leadership. I honestly, in the bottom of my heart, feel that we've secured the future of Crystal City, the Crystal City that we all know and love, not the Crystal City where, to quote some people, we're getting in the real world by actually taxing people for their garbage pickup and their water and their sewer. I want to preserve the Crystal City that we all know and love, the Crystal City that offers the best services in Jefferson County, that offers the best sense of community that I've ever seen. And I really feel that this project and this process is going to shore up all of those things and really just provide us with a brighter future.
All right. That has been DeClue, and I want to thank Mr. Roger Baker for coming in this morning. And as he said, he hopes that Ben is correct. More ahead, including a look at traffic after this on Straight Talk.
Are you tired of having your fixed rate loan sold?
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thanks, Ben. Thanks very much.
Locally serviced